Yeah. Okay. So welcome everybody to the Three Counties cross team meeting on the first Monday of June. I can't believe where this year is actually going, but at least we are sort of out of lockdown. We've still yet to get it confirmed that it's going to be fully out this month. But yeah. So for those that don't know me, my name is Jeff, and I have been with Utility Warehouse for, this is my 20th year, and I'm a senior team leader, so not what you call a high flyer, but steady. And just to let you know that when you get senior team leader, you take time out, you still get paid a nice lump of money every single month. I took 5 years out at one point, so set your targets and get that residual income that we all dream of. Anyway, tonight is all about increasing your business via neighbourhood letters. But before we get onto that, what I want you to do is in the chat, if you are new to the business, you've just joined, please put that in there. If you are QD or have gathered 6 customers, team leader, senior team leader, GL maybe, 20 plus, 50 plus, hit the 75 for the mini, 100 plus or 200 plus since the last meeting. So if you've had the mini for God knows how many years, we don't want to know that now. It's only if you've just reached the 75, okay? Because we like to recognise you at the end of the meeting. So please, can you put anything that you've achieved recently into the chat?
Even if you've achieved the pizza and
yeah, put that in there.
American thing.
Yeah. Any achievements? Yeah, just put it in there, and we'll acknowledge that at the end of the meeting. So I'm now going to hand over to Heather, who is going to introduce our special guest for this evening.
Right. Hi, everybody. I'm Heather. I think most of you know me. I'm senior team leader as well. I've been in the business 6 years, and well, not 6 years yet, 5.5 years. So yes, absolutely love the business, but you need to be resilient. So that's neighbour letters. You definitely need resilience, and it's a great way to develop and grow your resilience. If you're resilient, you will succeed in this business. If you're not, you might as well pack up and go home. But no, better still, develop resilience, because this business is gold dust. So you just need to work it. So yeah, it's lovely to see you all. I know most of you. And tonight we've got the wonderful Alun Maxwell. And most of you will know Alun, or some of you will know Alun. And he's come tonight because he is one of the stars in neighbour letters, and he's just got a passion, and he's got a wonderful way of energizing people and putting things across to make it better for you, easier, better. And yeah, so I'm going to hand over to Alun. He's going to take the floor. If you've got questions, write them down, because I don't want you forgetting them at the end. Write them down as we go through, any questions, and we'll grill him like a hamburger at the end, okay? So lovely to see you all. I will hand over to Alun now. Take the floor, if you please.
Thank you for that, Heather, and welcome everyone tonight. Nice to see you all. Yeah, I'm going to talk about neighbour letters. It's not going to be quite what you expect, but it is going to be very useful, because I've spent quite a lot of time putting this together. And it's not the sort of stuff which is available for the most part on the portal, but it is very much informed by neighbour letters, but in a slightly more big picture way than you might realise. So I know some of you will be sitting there pen poised, waiting to know what's the best letter to use, what's the best script to use at the door, what's the best time of day to knock, what's the best day of the week to knock, what's the best thing to wear, what's the best perfume or aftershave, what's the best cloud formation. You want all of that, and what you're hoping is if you get all of that right, the perfect configuration, you can do really well with neighbour letters and never hear the word no. Sadly, just to manage your expectations. That doesn't exist, because the 4 best people at this in terms of their results, which is Dan Crooks, John Zink, David Joyce, and Nikki Triggs, they all do it completely differently. Yes, they've got some things in common, but they say different stuff at the door. They've got different methodology. So there is no perfect way through that, okay? So what I'm going to give you is going to be more useful than that. I look at it like this. I think Neighbourhood Letters is almost like UW in microcosm, where everything is a bit more immediate and things happen more quickly. Because we all know that when we're in the business, yeah, we get to hear the word no a few times. And if you haven't realized that yet, you will. Okay. And in Neighbour Letters, you just hear the word no far more often. Now, to me, that makes it really productive use of your time. Why is that? Well, Heather's already touched on it. It builds your resilience. It builds your resilience, not only for Neighbour Letters, but for all prospecting. And I would say outside of UW, it just makes you more impervious to rejection. You just don't care because you've heard the word no so many times, you don't care. And actually the not caring bit is where you want to get to. And Steve Critchley is really strong on this. He says that's the key to UW, not caring about the outcome of anyone you speak to, because it liberates you and also is quite an attractive mindset for them. They want to know why you don't care whether they join or not. It makes you and the business more attractive. So Neighbour Letters is a brilliant crash course in learning how to overcome rejection forever. Forever. Now, in terms of the how-to methodology of how to do it, there's been a recent recording done by John and Kerry Zink, which is on the portal. It was a really brilliant Zoom call facilitated by Claire Hinger and Hannah Leaning. And it is at the end of this, I'm going to paste some links into the chat. I'm not going to do it now, I'll do it at the end. But in terms of the how-to, that talk for me is the gold standard at the moment in 2021. And I recommend you go to that with a pen and paper and you listen to it and make notes about how to do it. When I first listened, I listened to it live. I went out the following day, did Neighbour Letters. I did 55 knocks and got 7 appointments. Now that's above my normal ratio because that is really great information. So I don't see the point when you can all access the pure information, why you'd want me to regurgitate it. And what I've got for you is actually just as important, because I tell you this for a fact, you can know everything about how to do Neighbour Letters in terms of the methodology, letters, you know, the logistics of it. You can know all that, but you won't do any work unless you can control what's in here. You won't do any Neighbour Letters because you don't like how it makes you feel. So you'll stop, or mostly won't start. And that's the bit I want to focus on. Because all the how-to is out there. It's all out there. On the Neighbourhood Letter Mastermind group, Nikki Triggs' script.
No, it's switched off.
It's not, you know, it's interrupted me. Nikki Triggs' script is on that group, and so is Dan Crooks, and it's a totally different script. And it's all on there. So everything you need about how to is available to you. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Some people, particularly Dan and John at the moment, are getting unbelievable scores with Neighbour Letters. And it might be tempting to think, oh, I'm getting nothing like that. I can't do this. I should give up. Let me tell you something. John Zink, who did 32 Neighbourhood Letter customers in a 3-week period, I've no idea how that is done. No idea. But I'm very glad that he did it because he's proved it's doable. And someone in my team one day might find someone who can do that. Okay. I don't need to do that to keep doing Neighbour Letters, and actually nor do you. You don't need that level of success to make it worthwhile. So don't worry about that. You know, don't worry about other people. As I look at people like John and Dan, I say, look, they're running their race. I'm swimming in my lane. Well, you get the idea. So don't compare yourself to others. Now, here's the thing about neighbour letters, which is a nice get out. If any of you are feeling slightly jittery on your seat, you don't have to do them at all. Do you realise that? You don't have to. In fact, you don't even have to do your dirty warehouse. You could just stay in your old life and, you know, and that'd be great. But you join this business, presumably to make some changes and improve some things in your life. And you probably realise by now that everything that moves you forward, everything that makes you feel satisfied with what you did, felt uncomfortable at the time. And the challenge with some of you is not that you're not getting enough yeses, you're not getting enough no's. You're not getting enough no's. And I'm going to give you a tough message now. If you're not risking the word no constantly, I don't think you're in a business at all. I think you're in a very nice club. It's a very friendly club full of lovely people who will encourage you and wish you well. But it's not a business until you risk the word no. You stand up and say, this is what I believe in. I don't care whether you believe in it or not. Don't actually say that. But, you know, that's your posture. That's when you stand out from the crowd. So you're in the business. Why do neighbour letters at all if you don't have to? People have built big businesses without ever doing neighbour letters. So why do them? Well, they're dirt cheap. Now, as a business owner, which you are, cost of acquisition of customers should be relevant to you. And cost of acquiring customers via neighbour letters is virtually nil. Apart from shoe leather and printing ink, that's it. That's important. Why else? It's totally flexible. You could go out tomorrow and make stuff happen. Yes, you've got to leave them in for 24 hours before you go back. I get all that. But you can make something happen off your own back. You don't have to join a networking group, or not dissing networking. You don't have to buy a stand or buy a slot in a Winner Mini or whatever they call them now. I'm not knocking those either. But neighbour letters, you can do something now for you without asking anybody and not anyone else being responsible. Also, total demographic control. You've probably all figured out that gathering homeowners does actually work out more profitable. It does. You know, there's more in the business for you if you do that. It's just the way it is. I mean, gather tenants as well. But here you can target homeowners. How? Well, you only do the roads you want to do. And there's a great site called streetcheck.co.uk, and I'll give the link of that as well. But it's very easy to remember, isn't it? Streetcheck.co.uk, where you can find out the percentage on a pie chart of any street in the country, the percentage of homeowners on that street. Oh, someone just went, oh, someone got very excited by that. And I like that. I don't get too excited, but it is exciting. If I posted that on the group and someone said, does it actually say which house is a homeowner? And I felt like saying, no, it doesn't say when they're going to be in it either. You have to knock on their door. So, you know, you have to sort of take a bit of ownership. But knowing the percentage of homeowners on that street, that's got to be helpful. Streetcheck.co.uk.
I've written it down.
I can tell. What else about neighbour letters? Well, when you come back from doing them, you really do feel like you own your own business. You feel like you're in a business. Yeah, you might have had a few no's, but you feel, yeah, well, that's all right. I'm still standing. And you look in the mirror and the person looking back at you says, yeah, you did okay. You did okay. And I tell you what, you have got like an audience in your head, the audience that, you know, they got you to sign up because they want you to have more in your life. And they're looking at you, this persona in your head that joined, thinking, are you actually living up to what you said? Are you actually walking the walk? And neighbour letters is a way of silencing that voice and actually making the voice in your head be your friend. Yeah? Jeff will know about this because he knows a lot about football. But that crowd, he pretends he knows a lot about football. That's what I meant. That crowd in your head, they can turn on you And anyone who's been in a football crowd knows that if they can see someone on the pitch that's not trying, they turn on that player. And that voice in your head, if they see you talking the talk and not doing any work, that will turn on you. A little voice that will pipe up and say, you're full of it, you are, you've done nothing. And that's why people leave. It's not stuff that's being said to them. It's stuff they're saying to themselves. You've got to master what's going on in here. And actually doing neighbour letters makes you feel pretty damn good. In the moment, yeah, a bit scary. I get that. But you feel good because you're doing something that is scary. If your methodology is to avoid anything that makes you uncomfortable, it's a road to nowhere. Nowhere. Marketers have known for years that there's two major compulsions that people have that make them do things. One is what they call toward marketing. It's toward pleasure. People do something to move towards pleasure. The other one, which is a much stronger compulsion, is moving away from pain. They call that away from marketing, which is actually stronger. A lot of TV commercials will be about away from pain. You know, it opens up with something wrong. There's the product, and now everything's right. And that sells. It sells boatloads of products, which is why they've got enough to pay for ads. Okay, so moving away from. Now, when you join this business, that was moving toward. Someone painted a picture of you about what your life could be like, and you moved toward it by signing on and signing on, by signing in, whatever, by joining. Yeah. Well, why is it so many people quit? So many, and most actually don't quit. They never get started. They never get started because they move away from pain. And their compulsion to move away from pain is way more than their compulsion to move towards pleasure. And what's pain for them? Rejection. They equate rejection with pain. And actually, it's hard not to equate rejection with pain. But where they make the mistake is that they equate the word no with rejection. That's the bit I want to work on here. If you reframe it so the word no does not make you feel rejected, then there's no pain. But that takes a bit of rejigging in here, but it's worth it. The comfort zone. That is one of my favorite targets to have a good old duffing over on. The comfort zone. What a misnomer that is. Do you know there's nothing comfortable about the comfort zone? The comfort zone is a thief and an imposter, and it steals from you all the time. And you get in a business like this and you balk from anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, and all of a sudden it's gone. It's all gone. Do you know what I think the comfort zone is? The comfort zone is a bit like a sort of suffocating nanny that's still your age 14 and your nanny still wants to control your life. No, don't go out there. It's risky. Stay with your nanny. We'll do some embroidery. No, they're just suffocating your life. You have to get rid of your nanny. That's what the comfort zone is. Or the comfort zone is some claustrophobic friend who doesn't want you to have any other friends. Hopefully there's no one like that in your life now. You may have had one before. That's what the comfort zone is. It's an imposter. It's like it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Do you know what the comfort zone is for? It's for later in life when you're looking back on your life. It's where all your regrets are. That's what it's for. So why do we call it a comfort zone? You get people posting on the Neighbourhood Letter Mastermind group. The link I'll put that on the thing as well. And they say, oh, I posted some letters last night. Oh, no, tonight I've got to go and collect them. And I'm really out of my comfort zone. And I tell you who they remind me of. Do everyone remember the Sooty show back in the day? There was a panda who was always really panicky called Sue. S-O-O, Sue. And she'd always go, oh, Mr. Corbett, I'm out of my comfort zone, Mr. Corbett. And that's what they remind me of when they post that. I'm out of my comfort zone. I feel like posting, great, I'm glad you are. Comfort zone, schmumfort zone. And someone puts, what's up, hun? And I feel like deleting the post. Of course you feel uncomfortable. That's the whole point of doing neighbour letters, to feel uncomfortable, 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 until that discomfort is gone, until the fear of rejection is gone, and then you're liberated. The chains just fall off you. But you just have to pay the price with discomfort. Why call it the comfort zone? Why not call it what it really is, the regret zone? I'd really love to see a post saying, well, tonight I'm doing some follow-ups, and I'm going to be moving out of my regret zone. I'm going to be going into my victory zone. Why not call it that? I'm in the victory zone tonight. You can reframe everything in your head if you use different words. Rather than thinking I'm going out, no, you're going in. Exists. So this thing about bulking from discomfort is keeping loads of people broke. And boy, neighbour letters will get you out of that forever, ever. Loads and loads of no's. Do you know what? Risking the word no, I'm going back to football again, because it is that time. I've got my wall chart up there, which is really oversharing with you possibly, but that is up there. I have got some stuff about the business as well. It's just not as big as my Euro wall chart. But football, in football, shots at goal. If you haven't got any shots on goal, you probably won't score. And with us, risking the word no is a shot on target. Why do Manchester City score so many goals? They have way more shots than anyone else. I don't think they're the most efficient team in terms of shots and goals. But who cares, because they're on top of the league. There's not a team in third or fourth saying, oh, we were the most efficient team in the league. Yes. No one cares about that. Do you know what? Babe Ruth, the most famous baseball player of all time, he had a record for ages, the most home runs. Do you know what other record he had? The most strikeouts. It's when you miss the ball 3 times in a row and you're out. He had the record for that as well. Nobody cares. You've got to take shots on goal. And in this business, it's risking the word no. And if you're not doing that, I'm sorry, you're just deluding yourself. Because all the fun is with that as well. The fun of people saying no to you. How could you rob yourself of that? Okay. We've got to do some different stuff in our head. This chat in our head can move us forward or backward. And I know this is real, because when I started neighbour letters, I absolutely hated them. I hated them. I thought it was humiliating. I thought, oh, I'm never going to do that again. And I didn't for several months, went back to it and left them again for several months because it was too difficult, I thought. There's anyone I went back to and thought, this time I'm going to stick with it. Don't care how much it hurts, how long it takes. I'm going to get good at it because I'm fed up with not qualifying for anything. I'm fed up with watching everyone else move on. And since I started doing neighbour letters, I've created no records, but I have qualified for quite a lot of stuff, which I hadn't before. But when I started, and you might relate to this, some of you that do it, I'd be edging my way up the path thinking, oh, I'd rather be anywhere than here. Oh God, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I'd be walking. I hate this. 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 And I'd knock on the door. Please be out. Please be out. Please be out. And then you can hear noises behind the door, can't you? And if there's glass, you can see this hand coming towards. It's like a horror film. This hand comes through the glass. Oh my God, they're in. And then the door opens. Hello, I live locally. And does it any wonder why it doesn't work? Because what they can hear is what's in my head. Let me tell you, the people who open the door are listening to what's in your head, not what's coming out of your mouth. So you've got to stop all that stuff. Sometimes, because I hated it so much, I just imagined myself to be on a beach somewhere, like floating in lovely turquoise water, away from these horrible people, is what I thought they were. But funnily enough, a few years ago, I was in Barbados, floating on my back in turquoise water by a lovely beach. And I was thinking, I wonder what area I'm going to do when I get back. I can't wait to hammer that area. I'm sure that, yeah, that's true. It's true. So you can end up loving it. And it is fun. How am I doing for time?
Absolutely fine, Alan. Keep going.
Keep going. You're so entertaining, Alan.
Yes.
And can everybody that's here, please make sure that they are muted, because the odd interruption is going to take Alan off the main screen on the recording.
That's okay. I think my voice is going. I think I'll be muted soon. I get hay fever a bit, and I was in a very leafy place today. So what are the two big fears we got when we knock on doors? Fear of failure, fear of rejection.
Could you put yourself on mute, please? Thank you.
Bless you. Thanks, Rosetta. Love you. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Fear of failure, fear of rejection. If you've got those fears in your head, is it any wonder that you don't like doing them? Is it any wonder that you stop doing them? And you tell other people, no, I don't like Neighbourhood. Just no, that's not for me. It's not for me. Well, that's because if you've got fear of failure and fear of rejection, you're going to hate it. So let's kill off both of those right now. First of all, failure. The reason you fear failure is you have a binary view of neighbour letters. What do I mean by that? If you process it as I book an appointment or I fail, appointment, failure. That's how a lot of people look at it. And is it any small wonder that you quit doing it? Because nearly every knock you do isn't an appointment. So don't think of it like that. Instead, my goal when I go out is purely to categorize houses. That's what I do. I categorize houses, and every door I knock, I will put either a 1, 2, 3, or 4 next to it. So it's successfully categorized. There isn't any failure in door knocking. What's number one? It just means I'm going to go back there. I've decided I will go back there. That's normally because they're out. Yeah. Give them another chance. They were out. That's not a no. You see, if you look at it in a binary way, you think of that as a failure. They weren't in. How can you think of that as a failure? So one is one you're going to go back to, or a teenager answers the door. I'm sorry, they don't count. Sorry, any teenagers here, you don't count. Okay. 2, I talk a lot about my number 2s. All right. Number 2s are people that I don't like the way they said no to me. So I reject them. Let me repeat that. I reject them. So when I'm going out, I'm like Lord Sugar. I'm actually eliminating you from the process. That's what I'm doing. So if someone says no to me, I reject them. I put a number 2 by their house number. Okay. And that means I'm never going to go back there because I choose not to. All right. I'm not going back there. I may get them as a customer through a referral, but I don't think I'll get them as a stranger on the door. And if you go back there when they've given you a no, you might get an escalated no. Who needs that? So I don't do that. Number 3, really important. Number 3s are people that I have a conversation with who I get on with. I'm quite good at building rapport with blues and yellows. Red's a bit harder, greens are a stretch for me. Green men are my real stretch. Not Martians, you know, people with analytical males. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I build some rapport, and then I'm going to put them in my CRM because there's someone I think might switch later, or may even be a partner later. I have recruited from Neighbour Letters. Got 2 TLs from doing it. Okay. So it might be that. But the thing is, if you don't keep a record of those number 3s, as I call them, that's like going to a Win a Mini and chucking away every form that didn't give you an appointment. Well, no one would do that. That's why some of you got 500 forms stacked up that you don't want to ring. Ring them, however old they are. So keep those number 3s. Now, here's a tip for you, how to get their phone number. This really works well, okay? You've got their address. So technically you could put them in your CRM anyway, but it's so much nicer if you got the phone number because you might be able to text a UW story or something if it's there, if you found out what their job was, you know? You say this, say, I'm here quite often. Would you prefer a courtesy call next time rather than me just turn up unannounced? Would you prefer a courtesy call next time rather than me turn up unannounced? Use those words, because if you juxtapose courtesy with turning up unannounced, you always get a yes to that question, because the British people don't like turning up unannounced. I mean, a few centuries ago, it was actually a capital offence. I mean, people were led to the guillotine saying, I told him I was coming round. So, well, apparently you didn't. So, you know, people don't like that. So juxtapose courtesy with coming around unannounced, and you'll usually get their number. And if they say, oh yeah, courtesy call, yes, that would be lovely. Oh yes. Then you just have to have your, your clipboard there with a pen. Just say 07, not 007, just 07, and then just wait. And it's funny, as soon as you say 07 to someone, even if you just met them in the street, their mobile number would come out because they're so used to quoting it. 07, and before they realize, oh, I could have given the wrong number. I didn't. That's actually my number. Oh God. So that's a good way of getting their number. And number 4 is an appointment. And they go in your CRM as well. And of course, also your diary. So I never feel failure because everything is a successful categorization of a house. So what about fear of rejection? Oh, that's even easier. This is so sweet. It works a treat. If someone says no in a slightly grumpy, pompous, twatty way, which can happen, you say, that's fine. Could I take your name off the list? Or is it okay if I take your name off the list? Or no, I'll take your name off the list. And then they actually smile. Maybe the only time that week they smiled and you were there to capture it. Yeah, can I take you off the list? But why I say do that is because then you don't carry any collateral into the next knock. You've got to clear the decks before the next knock. Yeah, because you leak more than your words, if you know what I'm saying, when you're at the door. So leave that behind. So there's no fear of failure. There's no fear of rejection. What else? What else have I got for you? Well, here's something on the how-tos, record keeping. In fact, before record keeping, a little bit about how to organize yourself. I really recommend you don't think, oh, I'm going to try that road today. And then tomorrow, oh, maybe I'll try that road. That doesn't work because you just won't bother. You'll quit. Far better is to set out a whole area near you. And actually, it doesn't have to be that near you. David Joyce can't do any door knocks within 25 miles of his house because he lives in Hull. And there's no telephony opportunity for us in the Hull area. Don't get into that, but there isn't. So it doesn't have to be that close to you. You can put neighbor anywhere. No one cares. No one reads the letter. No one reads the letters. It doesn't matter what you put on there. So, what was it? Yeah, so decide on the area, and you can choose an area that's got mostly homeowners. And then what you do is you start at house number 1 in 1, 3, 5, 7, whatever, and then go into the cul-de-sac, down to the end, back the other side. You don't cross any roads. You go all the way down one side into all the cul-de-sacs and out and to the end, and then cross over and come back. And you work your way around it. And habit forming is really important in neighbour letters. So I tend to do 25 on a page, and then I'll start another page for another 25. So when I'm doing the knocks, I always put a line after number 20. So number 20 never looks that far away. And then once you've got 20, I've only got 5 more. So I always want to try and finish the page. And then I just rinse and repeat. And you just have fun. If strange things happen, you see some very strange gardens, strange reactions. You know, sometimes at the door opens, you get this waft of weed coming at you. I just find that funny. You've just got to find stuff funny, and you'll have plenty of opportunity to do that. But if all you're thinking about, oh no, what they're going to say, let me tell you what's in my head as I'm doing neighbour letters. All that's in my head is, when the door opens, does this person qualify? Do they qualify to be in my team? Do they qualify to be my customer? Because if you're thinking of it from the view of do they qualify, that puts you in a position of power, and it gives you posture. And also it helps with the not caring piece. Do they qualify? Now, of course, they come across really well. You don't grill them, give them a hard time. You obviously build some rapport, ask them some questions, and do a bit of, look for commonalities. But don't let them stern you out. By the way, they're not monsters at the door. They're people with their own lives. And the door, as the doorbell is rung, I mean, who these days hears the doorbell ring and say, oh, mercy, I wonder who that can be at the door. Darling, put the kettle on. We'll have some tiffin. No one does that anymore. Oh, who's that? It's usually a delivery. But that's me saying, who's that? It's usually Ross's shopping. Oh, God. But yeah, it's people not that excited about the doorbell ringing. So when they open up and they see a stranger, what they're seeing is stranger at my doorstep, trying to sell me something I don't want. That's why they are what they're like. So here's a tip. We have to pattern interrupt that. So when the door opens, you make damn sure you're the first one who speaks. Be the first one who speaks. Now, in terms of what you say, I've said the scripts are on Neighbourhood Letter Mastermind group, or listen to John and Kerry's, training session. But make sure you mention your road, like in the first 3 seconds, or that you're local. As soon as they hear the word local or recognize the road name, in the first few seconds, you've got like a stay of execution. You're not, salesperson, your neighbor. Oh, that's interesting. Has their ball gone over my fence? Maybe I should go and get it for them. Whatever, at least it gives you a chance to stay in the game. Okay, so make sure you're the first one who speaks. Record keeping, yeah, just make sure when you get back your sheets back from where you've been, get them in your CRM. Make sure the 3s and 4s are in your CRM, Customer Relationship Manager or My Planner, doesn't matter which, but have some organizational tool which is automated. Because if you can manage without that, either you've got a huge business like Wes, who's just used to using pen and paper. I don't know how he does it, but I recommend you don't. I recommend you to have some sort of automated system, unless you're really good at managing paper, which I'm not. If you looked at my office now, you'd think I've been burgled. Okay, so I have to work with what I know. So I use automation, and then names pop up in the CRM. I can't wait to switch on the computer and see, oh, that person, I've got to ring them today. They were quite hot. They were good. And you have that every day. And Neighbour Letters keeps putting those in your pipeline all the time, and they're all local. They're only cold the first time. If you built rapport on the door, they are a warm local lead. Only other thing I'll say, because I'm happy to take a load of questions and just sort of give my voice a bit of a rest. Yeah, the Neighbourhood Letter Mastermind group is a very supportive resource. I know some of you are on it, but if you're doing neighbour letters, let me tell you something. It can feel a bit lonely. It's not like a win a mini. You haven't got your buddies there with you. If you've got one person doing it with you, not at the door with you, but doing the odds and evens, that's good. But you might not have that. So that I look on that group as a bit of a common room or après ski. You know, if any of you skied, you talk about your falls more than any good skiing you did, because it's fun. And that's what neighbour letters should be. Anything that happens to you, which is at the time a bit, oh, dearie me, it's an anecdote eventually. So it might as well be that straight away. Just look for fun stuff. You won't be disappointed. Thank you for your attention. I will field any questions that come my way.
Right, so the floor is open. Off you go. Ask Alan all the questions that you like, because while he's here.
It's the first question, do you fold the paper twice or 3 times? Because if that's your question, I'm not sure you were really on track with what I was saying. But ask it anyway if you want. No, you ask it. I know you're dying to ask that. You fold it twice or 3 times. Who wants to ask that one? Come on.
Alan, just to start off.
Yes.
Okay, when you put these modern letterboxes are so blinking tough to open. You get your hands, you get the paper all scrunched up, so it looks like the dog's got it, and they haven't even
got your left hand in, your left hand out. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah,
they haven't even got a dog, and it looks like it's torn to shreds. So, I know what I do. What do you do to put these letters through really, really tough letterboxes?
I just push them through. I can't be bothered with carrying a spatula around. I know some people do, and good luck to you. I just couldn't. I'd feel ludicrous walking around with a spatula. if there's a really fierce dog on the other side, it's quite fun, because sometimes if there's glass in the door, you can see the dog sort of jumping up and down. And then it's all about timing. You have to get the letter in just when it's up in the air and it's looking down at your hand and go, no, I can't get there in time. And you pull your hand away and you go, ow, and it bites onto nothing. How can you say this isn't fun? So yeah, I don't do spatulas. I just put the thing in. If there's a fierce dog, then I'll have a bit of fun with the dog.
Yeah, I actually use a ruler and I put the letter, fold the end of the letter through the ruler and push it through the door.
Do you? Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
I know what I'm like. I'll say I'll try that, and I probably won't. But if that's what's between you and doing it, then yeah, get some sort of device that so you have low point the letterboxes that an inch off the ground. Someone tell me that. Who invented that?
Oh no.
I hope no one here has got a letterbox that's 1 inch off the ground. Goodness sake. Anyway, that's my pet gripe. Yeah, another question, please.
Come on, guys, you're not very
Right, Alan, I've got a question.
Oh, Angela,
Okay,
you have a searching question for me. Go on.
have. Right, so at the beginning of your very educational talk, you said about mindset and how at the beginning you was dragging your feet around and saying, oh, I don't want to do it. Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Da, 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 da. So what was it that changed your mindset to make you eager to go out? What was it exactly?
What was it? Well, it wasn't a quick fix. You just have to do it a lot, Angela, whilst feeling that. And as you do it more, you feel it less. But you have to take some control over what you think. You're totally governed by how you think about it. Because when the door opens, they can tell what you think about knocking doors, what you think about UW, and what you think about yourself. They can pick that up in a nanosecond. So you've got to work on that. You've got to massively up your belief in the company and in yourself, and that is through training and personal development. And then as far as door knocking, some people do phenomenal stuff with it, and it works. You know, it works. Yeah, there's people that you know in our team that have joined, you know, and are team leaders now. So it's just that, Angela. There's no quick fix. You just have to do it whilst uncomfortable, and that's not for you. That's for everybody. Don't look at a way to do something which takes away the discomfort. The way to take away the discomfort is to do it often enough until it becomes comfortable. Sorry, that's the answer to that question.
So you just kept on doing it?
Yeah, I made myself do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once I remember I wanted to buy a drum kit. I said, I'm not going to do it unless I've done this many knocks. So I just focused on that, a reason why I was going to do that number of knocks. So yeah, I made myself do it. And the thing is, Angela, and for everybody, being able to make yourself do something that you don't feel like is actually really important. And most people will go through their entire lives unable to make themselves do anything they don't feel like. They go from school where they're told what to do, to a job where they're told what to do, and home to a partner who tells them what to do. They can't make themselves do anything they don't feel like, and that traps them. So it's a great quote I heard someone saying, if you don't learn to discipline yourself, you will be disciplined by others for the rest of your life.
Can I ask a question, please, Alan?
Yeah.
So, you know, like you were saying to them that you will be returning, like how long do you tend to leave it before you would go back to that particular location? And also, if people are out, you know, how many times do you attempt to, you know, recall them?
Okay, Jax, let me answer that. First of all, we have to leave it in there for 24 hours. Okay, that's the law. We have to do that. After that, it's pretty much up to you. What I found is the sooner you can go back after the 24-hour period, the better. Why? Because if you give them that much longer, they will have looked at it and discarded it. They won't have read it. They'll have looked at it and discarded it. So they've mentally junked it. It's gone. It's in the past. You go back there later and try and revive it. That's quite a big move for them to make, to bring it back into play. What you want is them not having noticed it, or not having read it yet, or not having, you know, it's there on the floor. They haven't even picked it up. That's ideally what you want. Because really the letter is just a device to legally have this conversation with them at their door. That's all it is. That's why people say which letter, any frigging letter, it doesn't matter. I would always choose a letter that you feel confident about following up. Just like people say, do you wear purple? So you wear what makes you feel confident when the door opens. Because when the door opens, your head has got to be in the right place. So wear whatever achieves that for you. Was there another bit in that question, Jack, that I forgot to answer?
Just about
Go back.
how many times would you, return?
I'm not a big one for going back. I know people that go back quite a lot. I know some that don't go back at all. It's personal choice. I feel every time I do go back, my posture is slightly less. So I might not go back more than once because I know I'm going to get them. I'm going to be around there again in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, and that was part of the question as well. How many times would you revisit the location, as in how long would you leave it
Do you know
before returning to that location?
I know you want there to be an optimum time. There just isn't. Everyone chooses a different time, and I do it just when I'm going to be around there again. It's usually at least 2 or 3 months, but usually not more than about 6 or 7. And that just works for me. You've got to find something which works for you. And that is only through doing lots of it. There is no escape from doing it a lot if you want it to work.
Thanks. Thank you.
Alan?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, on your number 3s, what do you do? Do you just go straight back to that house and knock, or do you drop them a letter and then follow up?
Well, ideally, Albert, I'll get their number.
Right. But if you haven't got their number, what would you do?
Then I would go back at a time, because hopefully in the discussion which made them a number 3 in the first place, I've got some idea of when they might be looking.
Okay.
And what I do, I'll go there the month before they said they'd be looking.
Right.
Because you know the month they say they'll just have switched, trust me.
Yeah.
Go before then.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know that story. Yeah, no, I was just curious.
Oh, we just switched 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah, pleasure.
Hello, Alan. It's Charles.
Hello, Charles.
Do you get better results by going back every 3 or 4 months? Do people remember you? And, you know, do you work on what they've said the first time, go back the second time, go back the third time? Does that work?
It depends on the person, Charles. Sometimes people are, particularly blues and yellows, are more chatty. Because those are my colours, I find it easier to build rapport with them. And yeah, they're quite, some of them can be quite matey. They can be quite a long time before they switch sometimes, but I've got a good rapport with them. And others, you know, perhaps red or green, I find it more difficult to have that sort of relationship with them. And then I just might leave it a little bit longer. Again, there's no one, it's so to do with them, Charles.
Yeah, okay.
But with what they want and the steer they give you.
You just got to receive the message.
Yeah, you have. And I'll tell you what, the Big Al's personality colour book, I know he's on after this. If you missed it last night, he knows more about personality colours than anybody. And you get very good, by doing neighbour letters, you get really good at spotting clues about personality colours within seconds, which helps you, I would suggest, in all aspects of your life. So read that book, The Personality Colours of MLM, Tom Big Al Schreiter. He's not big, he's not called Al, there's Tom Big Al Schreiter. Okay. Now Go for No is another brilliant book for neighbour letters.
Yeah, 2 questions, Alan. Okay. How long was it before it's full? Yeah, okay. To get your 1, 2, 3, 4 system. You're doing.
How long before I did it?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'm not sure how long it was. I know why I did it. It was quite a while, and I found myself having a sheet of paper. I don't know why I need to hold one to explain this. But anyway, I found myself a sheet of paper, and I'd no, not in, which is actually has got no in it as well. No. Git exclamation mark. No, no, no. And I thought that's not very helpful. What if someone saw that? And I'm sort of making out that, you know, this is a good offer, and I've just nose all over the sheet. But then I thought it's nothing to do with what happened to me. I thought this is what happens to me on the door is irrelevant. What's important is my decision about what's next going to happen to them. And all that is am I going back there or am I not? Are they going in the CRM or in the CRM and the diary? All my decisions. And I found it very empowering when I did make that switch, Paul. And I wish I'd done it sooner.
Cool. Excellent. Next question. At the start, when you're talking, you said that there's a lot of the information will come from I think it was a podcast or webinar. What was that? I missed the title of it again.
You're talking about John and Kerry Zink's training?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. That is, I tell you, I'll put that in the chat now, actually. It's on the hub. It's on the old hub. And I mean, John Zink is, by the way, John Zink and Dan Crooks are hugely skilled at this, but before they joined UW, Dan was with Sky knocking doors, and John was with Eon. David Joyce was with Sky. And David Joyce tells me he was on a 2-week residential course to learn how to do door knocking. You know, people wonder why they're not getting any results when they've knocked 20 doors.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's a skill which if you played a long game.
I'm excited goes when I've done GBLS. I'm amazed at how quickly it no longer bothered me when people are saying no.
Good.
I was getting the emphatic no. I much greatly preferred it to the unanswered phones that you would get with when you're doing WAMs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It says yes or no. Great. I love that. I love the immediacy of it. The clarity. The low investment, they'd be able to flexibility do whenever you needed to.
Yeah, let me just bear with me.
Yeah, if you could put that in chat, that'd be brilliant. But I'll see that.
That is now in there. That's the link to the thing in the on the portal.
Thank you.
And I really recommend you listen to that and make notes on it. Who else? I think we've got a lot more time actually.
I've got a question, Alan. Neil,
go for it, Neil.
Entertaining presentation. Thank you for that. I like the numbers stratification 1 to 4, the core assessments as you're approaching. So I suppose the question is, how many times do you fold the paper?
I like Neil because he's so deadpan. He makes me hoot. But it is a very important question, and that deserves a full answer. Let me say again, I need a piece of paper with me okay, so yeah, if you get your own piece of paper, what I do is I tend to make the print on the outside, so I fold it once into the middle, so that's like I'm folding it twice, so it's like a third, but I actually have the writing on the outside, so I'm showing off the Which logo. Have I any evidence that makes any difference? Absolutely not.
You're listening to this,
but it is a habit, and habits are good. Because habits are actually quite hard to break. So you might as well get some good ones to offset some of the bad ones you got. So yeah, that's how you fold the paper.
Thanks, Alan.
Pleasure, Neil. We'll pick up later, do some more detail on that if you want. We'll do it one time.
Just one comment.
Yes.
Charles, use better quality paper. You get more respect. You know, you can buy better quality paper and print that. And that helps pushing them through the letterbox as well.
Yeah, listen, that's fine. There's a cost implication possibly. There's a can I be bothered implication for me probably. But I tell you what, I wouldn't diss that. If you find it easier to push them through the letterbox, goodness knows what they look like, some of the ones I pushed through today. But yeah, whatever. As I say, for me, the letter is just a pretext to feel confident as you knock their door later.
Yeah, I know. 90% of them, you won't have seen the letter anyway.
No, people don't read stuff.
No.
People don't even, you know, skim it. It's just, no one's got any time for anything like that.
One thing I find is more recently, and it is more recently because I haven't noticed it in previous years, is people saying, oh no, or oh, their wife must have thrown it out or whatever. Have you got another one? So I'm ending up giving another one. You know, and it's happening quite a lot that I'm ending up giving them
Yeah,
two letters.
I don't give them another one.
Oh, you've had your
I
chance.
do
Nick, that's
sometimes,
it.
but if it got a bit heavy, I wouldn't. I'd say, no, don't worry. There isn't actually much on the letter. What I'm doing is it's like a free health check on your bills. It only takes about 20 minutes. And actually the worst that can happen is I can't save you any money. And if I can't save you any money, it means your deal is really great. And I shall tell you that. That's the worst outcome, which isn't very good for me, but it's pretty good for you. So when is best for you? So I kind of move the conversation away from it, because I'm not there distributing more than one letter to each person, because the first one has probably gone in the bin. And here's another thing, you know, about this is put in my mind. When you're at the door, there is absolutely nothing at stake for you at all. Nothing. Because whatever they say, you've still got it. If they join as a partner, you've still got it. If they tell you to go away, you've still got it. You know what I mean? They come across, you've still, there's nothing is at stake for you. But for them answering the door, even though they haven't got a clue, this is one of the most important moments in their entire life. It's like their whole life led to this moment. Because when they were young, they might have had dreams of doing this and that. And as they go through their 30s and 40s, they're thinking, well, maybe that's not going to happen. Perhaps I didn't want that anyway. Oh, no, well, you know, we're doing okay just about. No, we don't need any of that. And this was their moment to blow the dust off everything they'd ever wanted. And it's over in a moment because they think they just dispatched an energy rep. Well, let them think that. I'm sorry, you've been eliminated from the process. Everything was at stake for them. Nothing was at stake for you. Always remember that. Do they qualify? Yes or no?
Yeah, hi, Alan. Got a couple of questions, actually. When you say you do them 20 minutes and you do them a health check when you're actually going, do you not do them a presentation? You just go straight into do the savings for them, or what do you do?
When I'm at the door?
Well, no, once you actually, you're saying it's 20 minutes just to do your health check.
Yeah.
But if you did a presentation, it takes you almost that long, doesn't it? So I'm just wondering what your modus operandi is when you actually go to do the appointment.
Okay, when I do the appointment, 20 minutes, that's bought me 20 minutes. When you give someone 20 minutes, what you're really saying is it'll be longer than 20 minutes if I've earned it. 20 minutes is what I want you to give me, so you get a chance to see whether or not you want it to last any longer. Sometimes I might say, look, if it lasts longer than that, it's because you want it to, because it's saving you tons of money.
Yeah.
So in other words, you buy the 20 minutes, they're giving you, you negotiate that, and it's up to you to make them want more. And when people say, you know, I've only got 20 minutes, what they're really saying is, I'm not going to be bored. People have got a very low boredom threshold. So the thing is not to bore them when you're with them. And then they'll forget they said 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is that what, Tim, was there another question?
Yeah, the other bit is roughly how do you, because I've been doing neighbourhood letters, and yeah, I've been doing the 20 minutes and then doing the, and usually I'm quite good at converting once I get in the door. But how do you sort of structure your week? I mean, I find sometimes after half an hour of neighbourhood lettering, I'm bored to death, and other times I'll, you know, do an hour or so. Do you have a structure you try and keep to for the week to keep it going?
I don't, Tim, but the main reason I don't, in my defense, is that as a freelance trainer, work comes in when it comes in, and I have to work around that. So no 2 weeks are really the same. If I'm doing neighbour letters, I have knocked 150 before in a day. I'm not sure I'd do that now. I had an operation earlier in the year, and I don't have the energy to do 150 in one go. So I did 75 on Saturday in quite hot weather. I tend not to get bored of it because lots of things make me laugh. I'm always looking for things that are funny, and I find lots of things funny. Particularly, you know, people have got a welcome mat or something really chummy they write on the door, a little saying, about what a wonderful home it is, and then they're miserable gits that dispatch you in about 5 seconds. I find that hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah. I know you think it says welcome. They can't possibly be horrible, but in fact, most of them aren't normally horrible anyway. But yeah,
no, most of them aren't. Oh, I say, I'm liking the music. Is that my end music there, Heather? Am I being closed off with fade out music?
No, not yet. We've got a couple of messages in the chat, Alan.
Oh, I haven't read the chat.
Oh, well, it's all right. I'll read them to you. So, yeah, Eddie said, do you do anything other than neighbour letters? I mean,
yeah.
Do you do anything else?
Yes, I do. I do the odd winner mini.
Yes.
I do a lot of call. For those of you who don't know what call blasting is, or coffee cakes and calls, that absolutely was huge during COVID when we couldn't do neighbour letters. Just meeting up with other partners on Zoom and making calls together, and you're all doing it at once. It's great fun, really keeps you accountable, and I do a lot of that and still will, because I've made some brilliant friends at GLs and SGLs who are doing it as well. Yeah. And I see them most days and we have a laugh. So you're missing out if you're not doing call blasting. I really recommend it. And actually on the Neighbourhood Letter Mastermind group, I promote call blast as well, and so do other people. So there's always one you can join in. You're always made very welcome. And they're all different times of day as well, or evening. You'll always find one that suits you. But it's a great thing to do when you're doing neighbour letters, because if you are using that script I gave you, then you should be getting a lot of numbers and you should be adding them to your pipeline. So yeah, you need to phone them.
Yes. So what's your suggestion? And I mean, I know you're saying coffee cakes and calls or call blasts. Yes. For some people who are newer in the business, they perhaps won't know where to go to find that information.
Okay, let me help you with that, because there are some people doing call blasts at the moment that are really new, like a couple of months in. And all it is just making a habit like anything else. If you join Neighbourhood Letter Mastermind group on Facebook, you'll have several promoted to you. You know, you'll see them there. And just join one and give it a go and introduce yourself, and people will be very friendly and welcoming, because it helps them to have you on it too, because they feel more accountable. Yeah. And all you do is you give a little bit of a pledge about what you're going to do. So not all of them will work the same way, but the one that I go to most, I do just called the 11 o'clock lovelies. I pledge what I'm going to do for the next hour. I say I'm going to do 15 calls and I want 2 appointments. Well, I'm going to do 15 calls and I want 1 appointment and 1 invitation to a virtual opportunity presentation. And then if you don't get that, doesn't matter. If you get more than that, great. Everyone's very encouraging of everyone else. And the neighbour letter group is also one of great encouragement. But if you're not doing it, it's funny, you know, you probably got the people on the calls, or you're always preaching to the converted, people who actually turn up for calls are not the ones you really want to be speaking to, if you know what I mean. Although I'm very glad to see you, but the ones that need to hear it are not on the call. That's the usual thing. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know, you get sometimes people saying to you, oh, I've just lost my mojo. Anyone had someone in their team say that? I've lost my mojo. Lost your mojo? Yes, someone, for example, who's been in a year, the first 6 months, they showed the business twice. The second 6 months, they didn't show it at all. And they come to you and say, I lost my mojo. I say, 2 presentations in 6 months, that was your mojo. I'm glad you lost it. It was crap. Get another one. Or someone said to me recently, no, I'm going to take a bit of a back seat. Bit of a back seat. Fantastic. You've been in the bloody boot making out with a spare wheel for a year. Yeah, get in the back seat. But I didn't say that. I just thought it. So it's always the people doing nothing that tell you they want to quit, which I find hilarious. Oh, I don't think I can do it anymore. Anymore? How about any less?
Hi, can I ask you a question? Your ratio.
No, I'm on a roll. Oh, no, of course you can. Yeah.
Your ratio in numbers and converted when you were doing neighbour letters What are they, and have they improved greatly as time's gone on?
Not improved greatly. I suppose if I knock on 25, I would hope to get an appointment. And the other day, as I said, I did 55 knocks and got 7. That's usually more than my ratio. But here's something for you, Sharon. I'm not ducking the question, but this is an important bit of information. Other people's ratios have absolutely no bearing on your success whatsoever. None. You know, the problem with comparisons, you end up feeling either down or complacent. They serve no purpose whatsoever. You go and do enough to get your own ratio, and then you find it gets slightly better by doing it more. But you know, when we get that email back saying congratulations, you've signed up a partner, they don't say how many did it take you to find that one. That's not in the email. It's almost as if they don't care, and you shouldn't either. They don't care. Just do the work. Conversion ratios is such a distraction for people. Conversation ratios, focus on that instead. Do I convert great? No, I don't think I'm a great converter, but I have to make up for it with hard work. I know people who tend to get one appointment for every, one sign up for every 2 appointments. I can't do that. I've never been able to do that, but I make up for it by doing more work and, you know, do the best I can. And you do the best you can. That's all anyone can expect of you.
Right, another
Alan,
one.
Sorry, Heather.
It's okay, Alberto, off you go.
I just wanted to ask you, do you just focus on one area then? Not as in once you've done an area, you go back. What I'm trying to gather is, like, you've got your map or your area that you look at. Do you then just focus on that area, just keep going back every 3-6 months, or then do you just sort of say, right, okay, I've done that area and I'm going to move on to another area, effectively expanding?
I'm always going on to other areas, Alberto, always. Because I've got a lot of blue in my personality. I like stuff to be fun, and I don't got a low threshold of boredom. Okay, so I like going to new areas. And what I'd recommend you, if you're serious about this, don't just do 20 or 30 and decide based on that. Why don't you think of an area that's near you, principally homeowners, and decide, right, I'm going to do 20 twice a week for 6 months. And by Christmas, you'll have done 1,000. Do the math. You'll have customers, you'll have partners. If you do the work, most of you won't. But if you do 20 times 2 every week, which is not difficult, if you commit to that and do it, the numbers will work in your favor.
Yeah. I thought when I've done, I don't know, probably done about 600 or 700. What I found interesting when I heard, I didn't know this, but Nikki Triggs, I think, had done over 500 before she got her first appointment.
Yes, indeed.
Which was quite encouraging for me, because I've done like 600 odd, and I think I've had, I don't know, 5 appointments.
Okay.
Which you think is, I thought was pretty useless. But then when you hear people that are more successful, and at least you know it's still worth persevering.
It is.
I think I like the street checking thing, because I found in my areas, I found a lot of rentals and stuff like that, which you only find out when you knock on the door and they answer. Yeah. So the street check is a good idea to sort of do some analysis.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, streetcheck.co.uk. And yeah, Nikki Triggs, I think for 2 months, did loads of knocks and got absolutely nowhere. This is January and February 2018. But by September 2018, she'd banked 23 grand just with neighbour letters. She won't mind me saying that.
Alan, I have a very quick question. Would you only knock on houses, or would you knock on smart blocks of flats as well?
Okay, Susan, I'll tell you why I don't do flats, and it's nothing to do with the demographic of people that live in flats. The reason I don't do flats is 2. First of all, if I can't get the marketing piece into their actual property, that's not good. I can't be putting it in some communal vestibule area. That doesn't work. So if I can't get into there, I won't do it. And also, if I have to do the follow-up via a buzzer, my chances of success are virtually nil. Okay. That's the only reason I don't do flats. Now, I've got customers in flats, of course, through referrals or warm market or winner minis, because then you don't know where they live. But neighbour letters, no, you've got the choice of where you knock. That's the whole benefit of neighbour letters. So why choose those that are massively less chance of getting?
Yeah. Paul put in the chat, right, he's done more leafleting in the last couple of days. Paul's quite new to the business, I have to say. So he needs to knock again on many as they weren't in or didn't answer. And he's got suggestions, please.
Just, yeah, I mean, I applaud anyone who's new that goes door knocking, because if anyone tells you it doesn't take guts to do it, they're lying. There's nothing in utility warehouse that will make you face your fears like neighbour letters. But that's why it's so great to do, the exhilaration of busting through that, because it makes everything else easy. So I applaud you for doing it. Just do it more. Do it more.
Yeah, I was just worrying about the times and stuff, because I thought it went around tea time when they were in, because most of the cars were there, but nobody answered the door. And even the one that did answer the door, he came out from the back door because his dog was outside. But
don't worry about which door they come out of, Paul. Just do more. Just do more.
I'm just thinking, well, it could be my village, because it is quite affluent in places, and
good. You'll be part of that.
No, I'm a poor urchin. So, but I'm just wondering, are they at work? Because public transport doesn't exist.
I don't know if your neighbours are at work, Paul. I don't have that insight. All I know is if you knock in afterwards, the numbers will work in your favour.
So you're suggesting, well, I said only one of the number I knocked on tonight was
these are just two, Paul, these are tiny samples. You can't deduce anything from a tiny sample.
No.
You know, that's why, yeah?
That's why I asked the question as much as anything else.
Well, the answer to your question, which I'll say again, is you need to do a lot more of it. You can leave your village. You don't have to do right next to you. You can go drive somewhere else where you think there's a very good area that's got homeowners. Go and do that. But you've got to make numbers work for you.
Yeah. All right.
Because that's the only way you can get to a stage where you don't care, which is what you want to get. Like, first of all, you really care about being rejected. Oh, I'm being rejected. Then after a while, doing the work, you stop caring, and then you stop noticing. And then you get to a very weird phase, which I'm in, where you quite enjoy it. But you don't have to get that far. Just a bit where you're not noticing is good enough.
Oh, no, I've done some weird jobs in my time. Some very unpleasant jobs at transporters as well. But I have done leafing before.
Good.
That was when I was a bit healthier. There was no follow-up, but well, not for me anyway.
Well, I'm afraid follow-up is where it's at with this, because really dropping them is paper round. Basically.
Right, I think we need to release poor Alan.
No, right. I'm just getting into it now. We've got another couple of hours, haven't we?
Yeah. As you got practice, did your ratio improve with time?
Yeah, probably. You know, I'm not very green, so I assume it did. But then at the end of the day, you know, if I do more, I don't really care about the ratio. If I do more work, the company pay me on what I do. They don't care what ratio it took to get it. People are way too focused on bloody ratios. And I'm not saying this is about you, Paul, but a lot of people, all that ratio stuff is, how can I get maximum reward from this and hear the word no as little as possible? Forget that. Bin it. Bin it. You want to hear no as often as possible, and it will never bother you again, and you'll make money.
Right, last question. I think Gary's itching to ask one, aren't you, Gary? So off you go.
Hello, Gary. I know that name.
Just with regards to posting letters, are neighbourhood letters classed as junk mail or not?
Well, we don't think they are, of course, but technically they are. And I'm glad you've asked that, because I haven't covered sticker houses. If it says no junk mail, I strongly recommend don't post in there, because that's how they will perceive it, and there is a brand impact by posting into those houses. And I just wouldn't bother, Gary.
Cool. Okay, nice and easy. Thanks.
Yeah.
Right, good man.
Well, thank you very much, Alan. Really appreciate you coming along and sharing your amazingly humorous knowledge with us, and hopefully you've inspired lots of people here to just build some resilience into what they're doing.
Can I just add, Heather, just to add on the ratio side, I agree 100% with Alan. The only important number out the whole lot is the actual numbers that you knock on. So the more you do, the more you knock.
That's the bit you
Don't worry about
control.
the rest of the ratio.
Yeah. Do the numbers. You own that. You own the activity.
Yes. So moving swiftly on, I'm going to pass over to Jeff, who's going to do the next little bit. Yep. Off you go, Jeff.
Okay.
Sorry if I used some of your time, Jeff. Sorry about that.
Yes, all right. That's okay. We'll be as quick as we can on this bit then, really. Well, we had a leadership meeting late this afternoon, and we had some interesting announcements, of which one of them was about the energy, and unfortunately our price is going up, but it's not such a bad thing, because everybody's prices are going up, and there's going to be another price hike as well in October to do with the cap. Our price is still going to be very competitive. Our fixed energy, which is a new one, is still going to be one of the best fixed on the market. So don't get bothered about the fact it is going up. That is, if it doesn't go up, we go bust. Okay, we have to go with the flow. And also be aware that the fixed energy is approximately £4 more expensive than our variable will be. But I would still recommend, if I were you, that people fix, because it's so volatile, the market, that anything can happen. So that's one scenario. And they use bulb, and how bulb have increased their prices substantially over the last few months. And they've got I think it's 1.2 million customers at bulb. They're grossly overpaying. Fine bulb customers. The holidays have been announced for this coming period. Now, I don't know about you. I've not had a great couple of months. I'm out of the holidays, and I'm sure there's quite a few people here that are out of the holidays. Well, the good news is you're not. It's a clean slate. We're all back in the holiday promotion. Okay, so get cracking. Now, football. I don't know a lot about football. Cricket's my sport. But oh, hang on. The football, here's who I can find. I'm just going through some sheets here. I think it's in here somewhere. The football is all about bonus points. Okay. Now it's all about the home nations. So we're talking England, Scotland, and Wales. And we've got to root for all of them, because the more goals they score, the more bonus points you will get. Basically, they're doubling the points pretty much. They're maximizing it at 21 points because that's what they're doing. So the maximum number of goals that those teams between them can get is 21. Well, to be honest with you, they probably won't get more than about 15. And it's from the beginning of June to the end of the tournament that we're getting the bonus points. So start gathering those customers. Make the most of the deals that we've got. We have got an amazing broadband offer at the moment. Get out there and tell people about it, but don't shout about it. I just want you to tell people about it. Okay, now the holidays. I didn't make a note of this, so Heather might correct me on this, but the main one is Sri Lanka.
For couples or for two people, adults?
Two people, yeah. So I don't know, I quite fancy that one. Amsterdam is the weekend away, I think.
Yes. Mediterranean holiday for the family.
Yep.
And Centre Parks for the long weekend for the family, 3-night break.
Yeah.
So they're the holidays this year. A little bit more closer to home for obvious reasons, apart from Sri Lanka. But, who wants to go to Sri Lanka? Yes.
Okay, now the most important announcement. Okay, you ready for this? Wayne Coupland announced this one. Pizza Tuesday is back. Yeah. As of next month. Okay. So get out there, gather a customer or a partner. Okay. So it's planned for next month, provisional date 13th of July, Tuesday the 13th of July. Anybody that has joined since Power Up will automatically get an invite. Okay. For those that haven't joined since Power Up, make sure you get your point to get to Pizza Tuesday.
And that is just one customer or one partner. And if you want to bring a guest, it's 4 points. So it's a customer who also has that extra point. So yeah.
Okay. I think that's covered pretty much the leadership team announcement.
Yeah, the important things. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to do a little bit of recognition now. If that's okay. So the first person to congratulate on my list here is Paul Templar, who is new to the business and has also qualified his position. So that's absolutely fantastic and well done, Paul. People that qualified for the pizza evening. It was Paul Smith, Richard Tyser, and Heather Petty. So I hope you enjoyed your pizzas and cooked them nicely.
Half of mine was in the box.
It was in the box. Okay. And then there was the tie evening, which is Paul Smith, Susan Hillman, Heather Redgell, if I know I said that right, Charlene Stewart, and Heather Petty. So that's quite a bit. But then we go further this month.
I got both of those.
You got Alan. Well done, Alan. That's excellent.
Not that I want any attention.
It shows the neighbourhood letters work, doesn't it? Okay. Now we got a few big ones. We don't often get the big ones on the recognition, but we have Richard Tyso again, who has the 75 and has his minis. Collected it, I believe. Is that right? Richard, unmute yourself, wherever you are.
It's ordered, it's not there yet.
It's ordered, okay. Well, you're going to have a great fun driving it.
A lovely electric mini. Oh, you lucky
the electric one you've ordered?
Yeah, they're electric now, yeah.
No, you get a choice, not the electric.
Oh, dear.
Just the petrol, yeah? Yeah. Okay, would also like to congratulate Richard on joining the 100 Plus Club, which is absolutely fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant, Richard. And we also have joining the 100 Plus Club my good friend Rima Bray. Well done, Rima.
Bray. Come on down.
Where are you, Rima?
I'm here.
Woo! Absolutely fan. Well, speak, Rima. I can't see on my screen.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Got you.
I'm lost for words.
Have you got a tip for anyone, Rima?
Well, I'm not the fastest, sprinter at all. I'm a bit of a slow one, but you can get there. So anyone, I remember, who was it? Somebody said to me ages ago when I went to a COP in those days, and I had like 3 or 4 customers. I said, I've only got 3 customers. And it reminded me of that like ages ago when I was 50 plus. So anyone who's got 3 customers or 1 customer, you can get there just one step at a time. So keep the faith and keep going.
Fantastic, Rima. Thank you. So Richard, we come back to you. Have you got a tip for anyone?
Yeah, do them 1 customer at a time. You can get 4 in a day, 4 in a month. It doesn't matter, just 1 at a time and just keep going. I've only ever done 4 days of door knocking, did a lot of whams, and just, do the follow-up. Just do them. I see Alberto down there. We did a wham in Hemel Hempstead that day. Do you remember I had that really bad black eye? I'll tell you what, go and get yourself a black eye. Everybody stopped and talked to me. It was amazing, yeah. But yeah, just do the follow-up, do it. Just do the do.
Maybe we need a spot for a makeup artist.
Fantastic. It's all about the consistency in any part of this business. You pick the bit that you want to do and you're consistent with it, it's going to work. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add, Heather?
No, I think that's about it. I just want to say thank you all for coming. It's lovely to see a few different faces. And yeah, just to say, our next meeting is the 5th of July. So put it in your diaries now before you forget. 5th of July. And again, we're going to have a wonderful visitor speaker. So yeah, get it in your diary. And I see that Heather Redgale, she obviously wants to qualify for the Sri Lanka holiday because her mum lives there. So how to go and see your mum for free and have a whale of a holiday at the same time. So yeah, so 2 dates to remember. 5th of July for the next meeting, and then the 13th of July for the first Pizza Tuesday revisit. So back to Pizza Express. Find your local Pizza Express, get engaged with the other people in your locality. So find out where it is. It's all on the portal, and get yourself a customer to get along there. Get 2 customers, and you can take your significant other, whoever that is, or you can take your next door neighbor as long as they join. Okay.
And a big thank you to Alan for this evening. Absolutely fantastic. Alan.
Massive thank you. Thank you, Anna. So we'll see you all in July. Have a lovely month. Lots of neighbour letters. This is the reason we had Alan, just to say, this is prime time for neighbour letters, the summer. So really make the most of it. Get out there and get some holiday points. Okay.
Okay. Cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.